And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HP Podcast brings to you, it's me, it's that M-A-double-T. And riding with me is my bro, the S-C-O-double-T.
What's going on, my guys? What's going on? It's too sweet to be in the house. Again, for Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Love you guys. Wow. What a week. What a week in wrestling. What a busy week on my end. Matt, I'm sure he's throwing up those TikTok videos daily, twice a day.
It's a grind out there, man.
It's been crazy. And I'm just saying, it's been a heck of a week. And if we thought this week was busy, Matt, next week it's horrendous. And you guys better watch out because there's some big shit coming up on the
It's gonna be a Wildcat Friday, boy.
Yeah. So we're just letting it go, man. And there's got a lot of things are opening up. I mean, booking in September.
I have to give a shout out. I don't know if he's watching, probably not. But dude, Duke the Dumpster Drozy on TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And I announced it on TikTok already. In September, he will be on the HP Podcast. Get on here and check him out when he gets here. It'll be some fun. We're gonna talk about the old WWF days. It'll be fun, you know. Talk about the Vince era, where the occupation era, where you were a garbage man, you were a hockey player, you were a mailman, you were a repo man. Remember Repo Man?
Remember, it's a security guard. Remember him?
Nails. Remember Nails, the guy who escaped
a prisoner. Prisoner. I mean,
beat the piss out of Big Boss Man with that nightstick.
Right, you were that. You were even a drag queen, if you remember those days. Adrian Adonis, you remember that, right?
Oh, adorable! He was in the first two WrestleManias, man.
I mean, come on, and that, or you were a thunderstorm, or an earthquake, or a typhoon, or
tugboat. I mean,
and it was just crazy. And now we're not none of that no more. You got to be a clown.
Oh, or Doink? I mean, hey, didn't your guest yesterday? He did his spot as Doink in Houston.
Yes. So I had the honor to speak with Adrian Whisper, who is the promoter of XIW Extreme Impact Wrestling. If you guys are indie wrestling fans, I would highly recommend you Google search XIW Extreme Impact Wrestling. Adrian Whisper is the promoter. Other known as now Chicken Shit. Hashtag Chicken Shit, and then hashtag Real Fight Shits. And then they got the champion Jackson Slade. But yes, Adrian Whisper.
From what I understand, Jackson needs to keep his hands out of the Cheez-It box.
Well, I think what happens there is his daddy's a little jealous of his son because his son holds the XIW championship. But it was hard for daddy to acknowledge that because he
didn't want to acknowledge him.
No, he didn't want to, and so it's all about whatever. So that event's on tomorrow night. I get the chance to hopefully speak with Chase Stevens. Little hint, little spoiler maybe. Him and I have been talking, so I get to meet him and his agent tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. But it's going to be huge. September is going to be monstrous. October, hopefully. Matt, we're only two people. We're not going to be able to bring everybody on, so we're going to have to spread it out. It gets a little bit overwhelming, my guy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. I got goosebumps for next Friday, a week from today.
That'll be a trip, bro.
I tell you what, come Monday, I will be putting out videos. You guys are going to be sick of me on TikTok. I tell you what.
So what my bro is talking about, I'm not going to name names. I had the opportunity to sit down with this guy last year, and of course we were very unprofessional podcasters back then. We were just
I think I was sick we
were just trying it. We were trying it out, and everything failed. And it was on my end. I had my YouTube channel running, and I didn't have it paused or stopped, and I heard everything. It was just a mess. So I owe it to this guy as well. So I have a great podcast, and I think we're gonna have an awesome podcast. And then I got news from another guy today that we interviewed last year too, and
I'm excited for him.
things have changed on his end. I'm not going to pop that name off until closer.
I'm excited to get him back on here because I was a little bit too nervous. I was a little bit too not starstruck, but I think I was a little bit too amped and too tongue-tied to really get what I wanted to ask out.
Absolutely. But we've changed. We've gotten better, I think, and every week it's better. So, but those, and then Matt, he mentioned in his TikTok already, and he has huge news too, and it's going to be great. That's going to be great. So there's three or four potential people, four people potentially going to be on our show. It's not about. I mean, it's not about. I don't want to glow. I don't want to, whatever. But it's exciting. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Something that we didn't think was going to happen, and we're just having fun, and it's just unfolding in front of us. So it's pretty fun.
And I think we're not a Panda Wrestling Company affiliate.
No, not at all.
But I do have a friendship with Panda, and he's a real cool dude, and he has reached out to me and given me a couple options of people that we could potentially bring on as well. And God bless you, Panda, for the opportunities that you've offered me and the rest of your people on your channel.
Mad respect for that guy.
The guy doesn't sleep. Seriously, he goes and he has a regular full-time job. And that, Panda, you are the Ryan Seacrest of TikTok.
The whole TikTok nation, the whole TikTok Wrestle Talk is awesome, amazing people.
There's a couple of them that are, pardon my language, assholes.
Right. But it's just been fun, man. And like I said, we relaunched about a month and a half ago, and I told myself before I even went back into it, I'm gonna have fun with it, or I'm not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? See, I tried too hard the first time, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to have fun with it and be committed to it. And because there's work to put into it, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. There's not work to be put into it. But I'm not going to put it off and put it off and put it off. And because we want to eventually bring you guys quality shows. I think we're on the right track.
Staying on that same line, I sat here. I sat at work. I was at work today, and I kept running through my head, you're not having fun with it anymore. You're not enjoying it, and I was too worried about the 1K.
Yep.
I was too consumed. I get up in the morning, and the first thing I do is look at TikTok to see if how many followers I gained overnight. That's not what it's about. And I'm kind of ashamed to admit that, but it's facts. I don't know. It's one of those deals where I need to get back to making these videos and having a good time doing it. Hey, perfect example. To the one that I just did with Andrew. Check it out after the podcast, or pause the podcast, bring up your phone, whatever, look at it. It took, I'm just throwing this out there. It took us about a good 25 minutes to make the damn thing. Because we were laughing. We were laughing, giggling. We were basically, we were ribbing each other the whole time. He does his patent, oh, you didn't know? And our new way we do things, it kind of got him laughing. And of course he starts laughing. I start laughing. And we had a good time making that video. And I'm glad that happened like that, because I need to get back to that. Right. Because I was too worried of going to the whole I gotta get 1,000. I was a fiend to get to the 1,000, and I was throwing out videos that I didn't really think out. And I was rushing things. I was forcing it.
Right.
And like you said on the phone, if you force it, it's shit.
Right. And I'll be honest with
if you just let it happen, it's the best stuff you can bring.
right. And I'll be honest with you. The first time I talked to the guests that we're gonna talk about we're gonna bring on next Friday, and the guy that I had an interview 4 months ago with Adrian Whisper, and I was trying too hard, and both those interviews fell apart. Not fell apart with my notes; it fell apart in the technical area because I was trying to. I was so nervous about and I thought to myself after that Adrian Whisper interview 3 months ago, I said to myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that again. And I'm going to owe these people. I'm going to get back in touch with the people I owe respect to for another chance, And I'm thankful the person we're going to talk about Monday is giving us a second chance. Really good guy. I had fun with the first time I talked to him, but it was a botched up cluster mess, and it'll be fun though. And because we have to get back to basics, we got to get back doing fun. But if Huge Pop Wrestling isn't fun, if it's not fun for us, it's not fun for the fans. It's not. We put up crap, and I think that we get everything mixed up. So I believe that going forward, Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast is going to be a great thing.
Yeah, I don't want to quote the Mr. WrestleMania, lose my smile again.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't want to bring, because I was for the last couple of weeks. my attitude was kind of garbage, and I wasn't having fun. I faked, like I told, I text Rect a couple times, and I told myself, dude, I'm not having fun anymore. Like I put on a fake smile on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's the honest to God truth. Like there for a while, it was all like, and like I would watch the video over again. I'm like, God, that's horrible. But it's out there, so I'm not gonna take it down because like 100 and close to 400 people's already seen it, so I might as well just leave it there for the rest of the world to see my bullshit.
Right.
So I mean,
yeah, and that's one thing about Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, guys, Matt. You're gonna get real people, real brothers talking about our stuff, and that's what you're gonna get. It's gonna be genuine. It's gonna be our opinions, our thoughts, and we're gonna bring our feelings and stuff like that into it. So, but you ready to get started, bro? On AEW?
Yeah. So let's start with that Monday Night Raw, shall we? I mean,
yeah,
that was good. The one big thing that everyone's talking about is Dexter Lumis. What the hell was he doing there?
That was a great part that portion stuck. It not that portion. I love the portion. I love Dexter Lumis in NXT, and I love what he did over there. And he's gonna be a great asset to the main roster. But the Swerve Twitter page pissed me off about that whole angle and the car crash and their comments. And I went over that last on Wednesday. And I'm still I love the fact that Dexter Lumis is back. The way that Triple H is writing that shit is so awesome, and I'm happy. I can't wait to see what Dexter Lumis is gonna do next. And yeah, that's gonna be great.
The one thing that, because we had said, let me go find it again. That you said that I had a theory to share.
Yes.
I'm sure people have already seen it by now, but I want to kind of read it and get it out there for everyone if they haven't seen it. Should have saved it. You know what? We did talk. I keep forgetting that our main event Monday wasn't Monday. It was Wednesday for our WrestleMania Wednesday show. That's my fault on that. There's a couple things that I've seen that they're. How cool would this be? I mean, I'm throwing this out there while I'm looking for my note. How cool would it be since Triple H is now writing and producing all the new stuff for WWE? How cool would it be if you saw at Survivor Series they bring in the War Games match instead of having a regular Survivor Series?
Right. Yeah,
You
that's
know
a good.
how that would be cool. I'd be all for that. I think that would be really super cool.
Bring back the 3 rings.
Well, it'd be two.
Two
Two
rings.
rings.
Didn't they do
Yeah.
3 rings once?
3 rings was WCW's Royal Rumble. It was World War III.
Yeah.
Wrestling 24, I'll give the credit where it's due, posted this, and I love this, and it kind of backtracks on me for what I've always said about Theory. Theory alone, garbage. I don't like him. Good wrestler, hate his gimmick. Now, if they do what I want them, what I hope that these people are asking for. So Dexter Lumis, he made his debut on Monday night. So Dexter he debuted. Then is it? I mean, what if Hunter goes out and gets Indy Hartwell? But they were married on the show on NXT, and then Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae re-sign. That, and then they come and they help Theory cash in on Roman, and the Wade's formed again. The Wade is back to where it was. And then it basically be their own faction, and no one on Raw can stop it until, and I'm adding this twist, until Cody Rhodes wins the Rumble, comes in and beats him at Mania for the championship.
I
mean,
I
rewrote the last a little bit, but I love the fact that if they do use the way, that'd be the only way, the only believable way to take the championship off Roman.
I mean,
in my opinion.
I get that. I get Theory and I get all that. But my thing is they're gonna have to do something crazy that, I mean, because there was so much pop when Killer Cross came on, SmackDown last week and beat down Drew McIntyre. So I think you're gonna see a 3-way Killer Cross, and Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre sometime. And
that'll be at Extreme Rules.
I think he's more likely. Killer Cross, his stature, his physique, his mindset, his craziness, even with his wife.
God, she's gorgeous.
Absolutely. And I just think that's more doable and seeable, in my opinion. I guess I'm a Theory hater. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, no,
because I
haven't never shied away from him being one of my least favorite people, but the idea of him, Johnny Gargano, and Dexter Lumis being able to get the job done and take out the Tribal Chief, that's the only believable way of doing it.
Right. So my question is,
and that way you're not discrediting the Money in the Bank.
My question is, has there ever been anybody that tried to cash in and lost?
Yes.
Okay, how many?
I think 2.
He needs to be the 3rd. It's just he's not
talented though. That's the thing. Like, you might not like. I don't like his character, like his Theory, the bullshit character that he's playing right now. When he was NXT Austin Theory and he wasn't doing the selfie stuff, that was quality stuff. If you go back and watch him,
then bring back the Intercontinental Champion then. Or take a belt off Roman Reigns, or do something that's smart. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. I think that's a great idea. And I think that's probably one of the only logical way for him, because he's not going to beat Roman Reigns by himself.
No.
He's got to come in with somebody built bigger and better. And I said
Well,
better.
Johnny's no big dude by any means.
What I'm saying is, but better.
Yeah.
Um, and help take Roman out, and then you could build a big storyline because I guarantee you, Gargano, and Loomis will eventually turn on that Punk, and they'll get the championship run. So there's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what's going to happen. Like
Triple H is thinking really good. He's planning some good storylines, and I like it. You can see the difference from in a month he's made. So
yeah.
I got a question regarding. So you answered that part. How do you see the WWE using Dexter Loomis?
Okay. I didn't see this. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling back through the 24 Wrestling 24 page, and there was a meme. Rikishi, shout out to the real Rikishi. So there's a picture that he posted on his Twitter page. He reposted the WWE on Fox page picture of the people loading up the car that was in that car accident on Monday night, and his quote on it: "It wasn't me this time."
Yeah.
Remember the whole how he hit Austin and all that?
Yep.
I did it for The Rock.
Yep.
I did it for the people.
Yeah.
Shut up, you thong wearing fatty.
There you go. Yeah. So.
All right. Sorry.
That's all right. So yeah, I just have you answered that question. So that was basically that was the huge angle that most of the show they used is the Dexter Loomis coming back, and he finally came back in the crowd, and that's how it ended, and that was great. So
that sets up a match between Dexter and AJ too.
yeah.
And Dexter can go. I've been a fan of Dexter Loomis since he was what is his name? Sam Shaw from TNA.
Well, as long as they don't botch the character. For instance, I love Dexter Loomis in NXT. I love Karrion Kross in NXT. Don't bring him over here, Gargano, and all these guys that we talked about. Don't bring them to the main roster and then change them.
Well, the whole changing thing, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Butch is not Butch. He is Pete Dunne. Gunther, no, he's not Gunther. He's Walter. Stop changing these guys' names.
Mm-hmm. And stop changing their character. You're not going to bring over.
Part of my language. We're not fucking dumb. We're not.
Right. You're not going to bring over the Uso from NXT and change his character.
Yeah,
you're not. You better not.
So next week on Raw, we have the Briscoe brothers, or formerly known as the Usos. No, you don't do that.
No.
I mean, I went a little extreme with that one, but
right. But you're exactly right. I think that's one thing I hope Triple H does. If that's Dexter Loomis, that's Dexter Loomis. Don't take his character. Don't do nothing. Let him continue doing that, because that is a badass character. Period.
And just, I mean, that honestly, that's why. You remember when FTR, when the Revival, was in WWE?
Yeah.
They, right before they left, Vince came to them and wanted them to change their gimmick.
They probably went like that.
Yeah. Dax, and they're like, bye. And it was almost a comedy gimmick. They talked about it on the Chris Jericho podcast, and Dax went, "The fuck are you doing? Right? Like, are you serious right now? Like, why?"
We talked. I think we talked about it Wednesday that they never changed Hogan's character. They didn't change The Rock's character. They didn't. You know what I'm saying? They didn't change these guys. Then, and it was money. It was what was fun for the fans. And I think Triple H now is going back towards the fans. You know what I'm saying? I think, and there's a lot of people that I've watched on TikTok and Twitch that will say Tony Khan is not doing that. And I think I call that bullshit. I think Tony Khan's for the fans as well. I think you got two good guys. You got Triple H over on WWE. You got Tony Khan over AEW, and they're both have the fans in mind. I think, because if Tony Khan didn't have the fans in mind, he wouldn't have done the Forbidden Door. He wouldn't have went out and got ROH. He wouldn't have went out and got Impact. You know what I'm saying? He is. Well,
he didn't buy Impact. Impact's still their own deal.
I'm just saying he's eventually going to buy it. I bet. You watch. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not. I don't have his money, so.
No, here we are with we're talking about AEW before we get started before we get started with
SmackDown.
Yeah, we're talking about before we get started talking about Dynamite from Wednesday. AEW is looking at possibly not being on TV, like when their contract's done with TBS or TNT. Time Warner might be not renewing their contract. Where do they end up going?
I don't know. Well, that leads me to my next question. The question I got, so I don't know. You can't. You're not going to go to Peacock because that's where WWE is.
Do you go to HBO and be able to do HBO Showtime and be able to do those rated R shows that they so desperately want to do?
Hulu.
I mean,
you could.
Why not?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you got to know Tony Khan's looking at streaming services right now. You have to. That way you could take your whole library, the whole library of all your matches that you've done over the last 3.5 years and throw them and because I, as a fan, I didn't get a chance to watch them when they first aired. I would love to go back and watch the first All Out.
I think you chose not to. You were a hater, man.
No, it's called not having the money to go out and spend $60 on a damn pay-per-view.
I'm just kidding.
No, okay. Now, if you remember right, I was the one that told you about the Young Bucks. I was the one that told you about Kenny Omega. I was the one that said you got to check these guys out. And then this guy over here turns into a fucking mark for the.
Yeah. So
no, I mean AEW. I had a hard time watching it at first because it was guys like Mance Warner. I didn't know who they were.
Google it.
I should have Googled it. No, it was guys like that. I was like, oh, there were some of them I didn't know who Darby Allin is, but now he's honestly one of my favorite guys on AEW.
You hated Darby Allin. Just admit that.
His first match, I was like, who the hell is this guy? He's like a...
You hated him because Sting was with him, bro.
No, because he wasn't with him. Sting
that's true.
After them.
That's true.
There was another guy that was dressed, and I'm going to catch heat from all my... Come
on, do it. Do it, man.
Huh?
Let me hear the promo. Let me hear the interpretation. Come on.
Of who?
There you go. That's his favorite wrestler, guys.
It's Andrew actually, and he hasn't worn his T-shirt yet.
That's that guy's favorite wrestler. I'm just saying.
The other side.
That one.
You're pointing out the window, my man.
I'm pointing over there. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I see you on this side. Anyway, so yeah, I got a question for you, bro, about AEW.
Yeah.
I heard this question while I scroll through some other podcasts and TikToks and stuff like that. You think AEW is toned down a bit? You think that's your problem? I don't think so. My opinion, I think WWE was toned down a whole lot until Vince got out of the picture. Now we're seeing WWE doing some shit that is crazy, and now a lot more people are not paying attention to AEW, and I don't think AEW's toned down at all.
The promos have, I think. I think the promos have. The matches sure shit hasn't. I mean, shit, Moxley bleeds every week.
That's another question I have.
I mean, Moxley bleeds every week. Jesus.
So before we get into Wednesday, Matt brought this up. I was scrolling through Twitter, and Break Terrific says this: John Moxley has single-handedly ruined blood in wrestling.
No.
Now, I
honestly don't think he has.
I don't think he has either. But as I'm sitting here watching Dynamite on Wednesday, the lovely Miss Edie, who's very opinionated about wrestling being fake as fuck, I think she said, or as nuts. Fake as nuts is what she said.
Not blood and guts, it's fake as nuts.
Right. So Edie pointed out as
Monster sponsor us.
We're sitting there watching this, because she does watch it. She humors herself sometimes and watches the show with me. If you remember the match, I don't know if you remember the match or not. Moxley got his earring pulled out, and by the way, there was no back on the earring, so it easily was pulled out. That's what it was. That was what the Miss Rogers pointed out.
Yeah.
So okay, so I tried to root it for me, right? I'm like, oh, come on, shut up. And then it makes sense. I mean, I can probably Google it, and it'll tell me the same. All the blood that came from his ear, there's no way in hell that much blood could come from his ear. So I get that. I don't, but to say
well,
that
you do realize in the process of ripping it out, I'm sure he got poked in the ear somewhere to create the blood.
And I get that. But I think, but I guess maybe this is where this guy's coming from and saying John Moxley has single-handedly ruined blood in wrestling. And he goes, and you can't change my mind.
Well,
I just want to see what your thoughts are about on that.
Then this guy's obviously a jackass. You can send him my way. I'll straighten him out. I really don't care. John Moxley, in a shoot fight, sir, whoever you are on Twitter, would absolutely, again, this podcast is gonna garner a rating of R if I keep my mouth up, but he will definitely fuck your day up, sir. He is one bad dude. He is probably one of the toughest guys that, you know, he did shit in the indies. If you go back and watch his stuff when Moxley was coming up in the indies, the guy was nuts. He did the deathmatch stuff. He was a badass. Yeah. And his stuff, he didn't have quarter-inch of matting underneath him. He had the like straight boards and smack and you stuff that would break your back.
Yep. I like this. Good.
I just guys like that single-handedly like we said on Wednesday, shut your mouth and enjoy what it is.
Right. I mean, I think, a guy that would blow up and because of if we want to talk about blood and stuff, and Nick Gage, bring him back to AEW or send him over to WWE. That guy's a beast.
I want someone to stand in the middle of the ring, look him straight in the eye, and say, blood and guts, more like fake ass nuts. And guess what? He will straight up murder you, and he don't care.
Right. So yeah. Yeah. So let's go.
Don't ever talk unkindly about John Moxley ever again, sir. I will mess you. I will end you.
Those are my hot takes about the AEW before the show.
That coffin match. Let's just dive right into that. That match. There wasn't a dull moment in that match.
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
That's the kind of. I will say this. Tony Khan knows how to open a show.
Yes.
You will not. He starts off every show with just absolute bangers,
Yep.
and you can't change my mind because I've sat through 2 of his shows, and both starting matches were just insane.
Right. I mean, what he had Brody King and Darby Allin. Brody King, much bigger dude than Darby Allin, and but Darby Allin again with his technique and his skills and stuff, he
Didn't hurt that he had a thumbtack laced skateboard, but
well, yeah, but the
that drew,
tag,
that drew a lot of blood off his back,
there was a
and I
lot.
think he
Yep.
I think he hit him over the head with it too.
Yep. There was a lot of before bell action that it was just an intense match from the start, and then of course what's his name, Buddy Matthews or
Yeah, Buddy Matthews. Formerly known as Buddy Murphy, also Rhea Ripley's side piece.
He opens the coffin, and you had to expect it. I mean, I was sitting there going, "Yep, if Sting's not there, then where's he going to come from?" Because you knew Sting was going to come in that match, and so you open it up.
How slow Sting got out of that damn coffin was like, come on.
I mean, 60-some years old. I mean, come on now. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that black circle around his eye.
That's where he got sprayed.
Yeah. So here's a question then.
Got to keep it kayfabe, my man.
Will there be a swerve, and eventually at the end of the storyline between Darby Allin and Brody Lee or whoever, that Brody King and that faction, do you see Sting turning on Darby Allin and joining that faction?
Well, I was thinking that because if you saw, he got in the ring, pointed at Malachi, dropped the bat on him, and turned his back like.
Now, when he did that, I was like, here we go, NWO Sting. When he handed the bat to Macho Man, turned around and walked out with Macho Man. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty cool. But that's where my mind went. I was like, so eventually down the road, this will give Sting the opportunity, I mean, to test different waters and maybe gives Darby Allin some freedom. I think I see a major heel turn. I see Sting making a heel turn, and I'm not sure.
Now, does Sting make the heel turn, or does Darby?
That's possible too.
I mean,
that would be an out. That would be a way out for Sting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Darby turn heel on him and then be done. So I mean, it is what it is. Those are some thoughts I had on that match. I was like, wow, and that huge pop right there when he handed the bat. And the bat was just tossed back at him, and you seen King leave. It was pretty cool. So then we had the Rush and Al Lilo versus the Lucha Bros.
Dude, that match was a banger too.
Yeah,
I love Lucha Bros.
I mean, Penta got dismasked, and
I love his whole little.
Yeah. We've seen.
That's how. No.
Right. And we've seen all the finishers. Everybody, that great wrestling. Everybody showed up their finishers. It
was a tornado tag too, which was a lot of. Those are the kind of matches. It's just a lot of moving parts, but it was just entertaining from start to finish again. We talk about Roosh. Roosh is an ROH guy.
Yeah.
And he puts on tremendous matches. And I guess I don't watch very much AAA. But him and Andrade El Idol have been a tag team for a long time.
Right.
I didn't realize that. Again, I need to apparently when I'm watching Dynamite, have my Google machine ready.
There you go.
And just start Googling shit. Be like, but yeah, it was
Then Penta's
Well,
mask.
Penta, he took his mask off by himself, though.
To save his partner. So that was pretty cool, and but that's how that ended, and it was a good match. Again, all four of them, great athletes, great wrestlers, and then ended the match that way. Then it went backstage with the young,
Luchasaurus.
yeah,
Luchasaurus just absolutely decking somebody, and
then we got Young Bucks asking Hangman Adam Page to be their partner in a trios championship tournament. But he revealed that he will be in the corner of the Dark Order. I don't think so. I think he's gonna screw the Dark Order and join his friends. So,
well, now is that who the Young Bucks drew in the tournament? I stopped watching it halfway through because I was at work.
right.
I couldn't. But I did catch the Moxley Jericho match. That was a banger too. But
right. So then we had Wardlow. We can go quickly through this. We have Wardlow.
Wardlow has 7-star backup Ricky Starks versus Andrew Solo.
Yeah. That was nothing fabulous on that one. The Madison Rain and Jade Cargill was garbage in my opinion.
Well, you knew
Cargill was going to win.
Yeah.
But then we had Moxley and Jericho.
Now people hate on Y2J, and I have a bit of a issue with that. Bit of why I don't like Y2J. We've seen Mox and Y2J before. One other time. You saw it one other time. And they did a hell of a and for those who bag on Jericho, how old is he? He's in his gotta be in his mid 50s, I'm guessing.
We'll tell you in a minute.
He's 51.
51.
He's 10 years older than me. Looks a shit ton better than me. Is in better shape than me. And he can do stuff in that ring that I could only dream of doing. I can only do it on a video game.
Right.
I mean, he is one of the. I wouldn't put him in the GOAT category, but he is in definitely a top 10 of all time.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
The guy's always been good on the mic. He has always been a solid in-ring performer.
Correct.
And I mean, is he slowing down a little bit? Yeah, but at 51, you've been doing it for the last 30 years.
Yep. I mean, he can still come off that rope with hit that Judas effect, which is,
I was really hoping he'd be able to do the lion salt, but that ain't happening. He's 51 years old. He ain't gonna. That's like asking Taker to do that dive to the outside.
So no, there was a lot of the old moves you see in the what's his move where the Walls of Jericho. You've seen that. You've seen the Moxley doing his thing. You've seen the Judas effect. You've seen lots of blood, like we talked about. And eventually, obviously, you knew who was going to win it because you know that CM Punk and Moxley are going to meet. There's no way that Jericho's going to beat that guy. And I thought it was interesting. Jim Ross, man, he hates the interim champion portion. He can't stand that name. He calls it the set, and Jericho makes reference to it.
We talked about moves, right?
Right.
Was there an armbar?
Armbar?
No. Armbar.
There was not.
I'm pretty armbar.
Armbar.
Shout out to Rex for that one. Armbar.
So, at the end of that came CM Punk. And we all know what that happened. He got a great big pop. No one expected him to be there.
Well, I honestly, Uncle Dave fed us a line of shit, apparently. Because about a couple days earlier, they said that he didn't think that CM Punk was going to be ready for All Out, that he was going to have to try to take his title back at Full Gear. And I actually made a video that afternoon before the pay-per-view or not pay-per-view, but before the show. And I said, hey, he's not, and I basically quoted Uncle Dave. And he obviously swerved me.
So All Out, right? Or is that what you think?
All Out will be the next pay-per-view. And that's in Chicago.
You think that? Yeah, that'd be the where I'd put the show. That's where I'd put that match. But my question about that is, what type of match would you like to see with Moxley and CM Punk?
Well, if I'm writing this, how many weeks are we away from when's All Out? Is that 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3 weeks, I think.
All Out. It is September 4th.
So yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
So if I'm writing this next week or tonight on Rampage or whatever, you have face to face with Punk and Jericho or Punk and Moxley, and the best heel in the business shows up. After being off TV for 2.5 months, he shows up to confront CM Punk.
Yep.
He gets involved, and he takes out Punk. I'm not saying a triple threat match because I don't want to see that. I think that would be a shitty way to take the belt off Mox. But make it.
He ain't losing that belt.
Oh, it's in Chicago.
Chicago is going to go into a riot, but I'm telling you, Moxley's not losing that belt. There's no way.
I think it's going to end up being a cage match. This is how I would book it. I put him inside a steel cage to keep MJF and the Blackpool Society or Blackpool Combat Club out of it. Put him in a steel cage because we all know they love their gimmick matches over there.
Sure do.
So put him in a steel cage or a Hell in a Cell or penis in Uranus.
There you go.
But I think you give them a match like that and you keep all, but you gotta let MJF if they do it that way, that you have to make sure MJF gets involved in every segment that those two guys are in.
Kind of like Loomis in last week on Raw, right? How he was somehow involved.
You have to somehow be a distraction or cause someone to lose or just get beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I would write it. But
that's
again,
good.
I'm not Tony Khan.
I'd write it and get MJF involved for sure. So, so SmackDown is tonight. What's your hot spots? What do you think's going to happen? Give me your, I was just reading on major spoilers. Fightful Select reports former SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey will make her TV return. That bitch is going to be pissed off. Well, and I like that Ronda Rousey, and I bet you she's going to come back and wreak havoc.
Well, that's been she's been kind of a topic on TikTok. I don't know if you've noticed, but Phil on TikTok has tremendous dislike for her. Simply because, in his opinion, says that she doesn't give a shit about the WWE universe. And like he posted an interview that she had, and I didn't want to get into it with him. He doesn't watch this anyway, so it's fine. He says that this interview that she had, that she doesn't care about that. It's fake, it's scripted, but I'm not going to be that bitch. I'm going to show people. And she shoot fights out there, apparently, according to, And speaking of shoot fight, did you watch any of that Raquel Gonzalez and Natalia match?
No.
Raquel Gonzalez, look it up if you get a chance. Go look up Raquel Gonzalez and Natalia, and Raquel Gonzalez absolutely like close fist punches, makes contact with Natalia's face. Like
Wow.
it was
Legit.
Yeah, it was legit. It was like boom.
Well, if you heard my podcast last night with XIW Extreme Impact Wrestling, Adrian Whisper, I asked about a sore subject. There's an indie wrestler, Johnny Knockout, that went after somebody and personally, oh my God, personally,
Beardhausen.
he personally attacked their sexual preference on social media, and in a shoot, Jackson Slade went and found Johnny Knockout inside of Planet Fitness, beat the piss out of him with a 2.5 pound metal weight. And he said if he shows up at the XIW arena on Saturday, it won't be a work. It'll be a shoot when the whole roster beats the piss out of the name Johnny Knockout. So, hey, Johnny, show up, man. Show up and get taken away on an ambulance, because that's going to be a real fight shit. But you were talking about shoot wrestling, and if that guy shows up, there's going to be some shoot wrestling.
So, is that on YouTube?
No, he didn't put he didn't post the.
I know that Johnny Jerkoff, he likes to post shit on YouTube.
Yeah, well, he hasn't posted since he got his ass beat back a few weeks ago. So, well, yeah.
That guy, you talk about cringeworthy stuff. That boy, he says, like, the thing, like, I laughed, but it was a very uncomfortable laugh. He's like, what do I have to do? Open mouth kiss a dude?
Yeah. He's
like,
just an ass. He's an asshole.
It's like, shut your mouth.
So,
there's no room for that. And I don't care if you have a displeasure or dislike for another person. You don't need to be saying that shit.
Right.
Think before, and like it or not, pro wrestlers, if they can say that they're not all they want, but they're role models.
Yep.
I mean, kids, Andrew, he's 9 and he'll be 10 in a few months. He watches more wrestling than a lot of people I know. And kids watch the stuff.
Right.
And they enjoy it. Don't be a dick.
Right.
Don't show them it's okay to talk poorly about another person just because you don't like them. I mean, you could do your work promos, and because anybody can tell the difference between a work promo and a shoot promo.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that Johnny Knockout, Johnny Jerkoff, Johnny Your Mama, Johnny Bahama, whatever the hell his name is, the guy just needs someone to shut him up. And he just needs to go away. Go away. Go take Ryback by the hand and walk off into the sunset with your steroids.
Right. Exactly. So,
I mean, and I know he's never gonna hear this.
No, Johnny Knockout. Johnny got knocked out is his name. So,
and Johnny's gonna get knocked out again if he keeps running his goddamn mouth.
Right. So I'm gonna quickly go through because we're running short on time. I'm gonna run quickly through some questions on SmackDown. New challenges for the Usos.
You and me.
All right. Why not?
Why not? Because the tag team division of WWE is not very good.
No. Liv Morgan turning heel. She's going up against Shayna Baszler. Do we see more of a heel
If you
change?
have we're going to talk shoot fight again for a second. Shoot fight, Shayna beats the piss out of her.
Yep.
Guarantee that.
And
but Liv Morgan will win because Ronda will get involved with that one.
Good. Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross, and Roman Reigns feud. How will that work out? How will that pan out?
I think if you watch our TikTok, Andrew hit the nail right on the head. At Clash of the Castle in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're going to see Drew and Roman, and Karrion Kross is going to take out Drew McIntyre during the match and cost him the championship, but also give Drew McIntyre the win, but cost him the championship at the same time, and then they settle it at Extreme Rules. I mean, that's the fitting way to do it. And Karrion Kross, we're talking about him real quick. In a Twitter, he had it was on his Instagram. On his Instagram, he had put up a picture. It's on one side, it has him and Scarlett Bordeaux right underneath him, and The Fiend and Alexa Bliss on the other side of the picture in a Hell in a Cell. And he said that is his dream match to have.
That might happen.
I mean, that'd be fun.
I hate that because I don't want to see Alexa Bliss go back to the dark side like that. If we got Bray Wyatt, that's Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend, and Alexa Bliss, I can see that. I don't know. Then we got Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Who?
Nakamura.
Who's that first guy?
Gunther, or whatever his name is.
Walter. That for the IC championship, or is that going to be at Clash? I think that's at Clash.
Intercontinental Championship. I'd like to see Shinsuke Nakamura get that belt back.
I love Shinsuke. I've been a Shinsuke guy since he came to NXT from New Japan. But Gunther or Walter, whatever it is next week when we see him, since he lost all that weight and just got shredded.
Yeah,
it's hard not to like the guy.
Right.
But yeah, I think he's going to hold on to the title for a little bit longer. I don't think you take the strap off of him or take the IC title off of him until a pay-per-view.
Then we got a women's match for a tag team championship tournament. I could care less about Shotzi and Zia Lee versus Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care. So I got just to close out, Matt. And I'm not trying to steal nothing from anybody, but they're good questions. I thought these were great questions that were asked on one of the podcasts I watched. Shield, DX, or NWO?
I personally, during that era, I was a DX guy because that's what I watched. I wasn't familiar. I knew what NWO was, but I really if I'm taking for me personally, DX, because obviously because you didn't know. The whole let's get ready to suck it. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg Jesse James, Badass Billy Gunn, X-Pac, China. In my opinion, DX was better simply because the whole roster wasn't part of it.
Gotcha. So now is DX.
NWO just seems like everyone was part of it. It got so big it had 4 different divisions. You had the NWO Black and White, NWO Red and Black, Latino World Order.
Right.
Just it.
Well, I'm an NWO guy, so you know where I'm going with that. So NWO here, DX there. Okay. Who's your pick on the mic? Who's best on the mic?
All time?
Yeah. Or should I narrow? I'll give you 3 choices.
Okay.
How about that? That's easier.
Okay.
I think it's easier. My 3 choices I'll give you would be MJF,
Okay.
The Rock,
Okay.
CM Punk.
Neither. None of those 3.
Okay.
The Hot Rod, Rowdy
Okay.
Piper.
All right. Fair. Fair. I'm going to say this because, and you're going to say, you're going to laugh at me, but I get you. I love Roddy Piper, but we have in MJF the modern day Roddy Piper.
Exactly.
And I think that he's probably the best on the mic in modern day.
Modern day, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no one right now, currently, there's no one better on the mic than MJF. And
this last question goes out to the podcast was on Panda's podcast, Panda's wrestling podcast. And I love this question, and I'm still thinking about this question. AEW CM Punk or WWE's CM Punk? That's a good question.
well,
That's why I'm sorry, but Panda, that's why I stole that question. That is a good question.
I'm a CM Punk guy. Now you're talking. See, CM Punk was one that changed with the times, and he started off as like when he came over from ROH doing the whole and long hair. He came out with that just banger music in ECW. I feel he accomplished more in WWE because he was there longer. Now, the pipe bomb promo, possibly one of the best in that era. All of his during that time frame when I'd say WWE Punk.
Well, they were saying the argument last night was that CM Punk and WWE had more creative freedom than he does over in AEW. Or creative, they didn't give a shit about what he said. I honestly don't think Khan gives a shit what Punk says either. But with the promos and stuff like that, he cuts them great now, but he was great then. The pipe bomb promo will never go away, just like MJF's promo will never go away.
My question to you is where are my ice cream bars?
I mean, yeah. I
think he is so portable, and that's one of the greatest reasons. Okay, how about I'll go back to that first question, the who cuts the greatest promo. You break it down into eras. Yes. Piper. And then it's a toss up between Rock, Stone Cold, because Stone Cold cut great promos in that era.
Right.
And then today, and that's the Attitude Era. You go to Ruthless Aggression. You had John Cena and CM Punk in that era, and in current, no one touches MJF.
No. So I think CM Punk. I guess you're right. CM Punk probably in WWE probably was better than CM Punk here because CM Punk here is more watered down in my opinion on AEW than he over there. CM Punk is still by far one of the best on the mic. So yeah, those are my questions, man. It's been a pleasure, bro. Spending the last hour with you. Keep growing strong, man. Keep it up. Huge Pop Wrestling's not going to go nowhere. We're here for life. It's just like NWO. So
if you're not down with that,
Matt's got 2 words for you.
Huge Pop.
Huge Pop. So thank you guys for joining in. Another episode of 2 crazy brothers spending an hour with each other talking crap about Huge Pop Wrestling. I mean, that's it. That's just as raw as it's going to get. No pun intended. I'll lay the smackdown on your candy asses if you think it's AEW wise. So, and by the way, I'm going to throw out there, Monday also, I forgot to tell you this. I'm not going to say anything. Matt knows about this. Matt don't know what I'm talking about. I'm super stoked. Not a huge one, not a huge announcement, but it's kind of cool that people would give my brother and I a chance. Huge Pop Wrestling will announce their first sponsor.
Okay.
And it's huge. For us, it's huge. Yeah, it is a huge pop, actually, to be honest with you. So yeah, so look for the guys before we close. Look for the sponsor announcement on Monday. Look for the talent announcement for that week, and look for some more stuff coming through. Maybe Monday might not be a WrestleMania rewind day. It's supposed to be WrestleMania 3, but there might be too much to talk about for the show to go there. So look forward to that. I look forward to talking to you again, Matt, in a few days. Keep it real. Have a good weekend. Everybody out there in Spotify land, have a good weekend. And again, Huge Pop Wrestling.
Oh, you didn't know? Stole that line from
somebody.
Stole that. Hey, Andrew, come here for a minute.
Come on,
we gotta sign off the right way.
I'll close the show. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
You're damn right. It's me. It's me. It's that MATT. And he's Andrew.
Sup.
Sup.
That's right. I was waiting for that, bro. I'm Scott. Love you guys. Take care. And see you on Too Sweet.